Bobby, we didn't talk to you after the game. Just what does it mean to be NFC West champs again? And this year in particular, with how good the division was and everything going on in the world, just what a challenging year it's been for everybody. What does that mean to come out on top?
Um, I think it kind of means everything. I think the goal that we always set every year is to win, our division, and we have a very very tough division. That's outside of all the other aspects that we have. All the teams in our division are really really good, and so to come out as a top in this division says a lot about us, says a lot about our focus, our discipline, because it has been a challenging year.
Tim?
Hey, Bobby, got two for you. What has this year been like when you're playing at home and actually being able to communicate verbally with guys when in the past it's always been hand signals because of the noise and the home field advantage?
It's been different. Personally, I like not being able to hear because I know the offense can't hear either. So, I know offense prepare when they come into Lumen Field. They prepare for having being able to have that communication, and so this year's been unique. You've been able to hear the coaches on the sideline, so all the stuff that they say on the sideline that you don't normally get to hear, you get to hear them, which is always interesting. And I can't wait for the fans to be able to be back in the building.
Do you think the lack of fans this year and the lack of home field advantage sort of league wide has shown the talent of the better teams, and you're seeing the more quality teams being more successful?
Um, you can say that to an extent, maybe. I think when you go into, as a road team going into somebody's stadium, it's not as difficult because you don't have to worry about the fans being a part of the game. So maybe that aspect of the game is different. But, it's kind of like the bubble in NBA. It kind of just makes everything kind of flatten out, and whoever's the best team that day is going to win.
Jen?
Given the fact the division title is already locked up, is there anything that you need to caution the team against this weekend about whether it's letting down or not playing with the same intensity?
No, I think if you watch, the 49ers play last week and the way they came out against Arizona, you understand that they're going to come out and give you their best. They don't care, where they've been at. They're going, they've been in Arizona for, I don't know how long, but, they're going to fight, and we're going to fight too, because there's still stuff out there for us to get. I think we have like a 5% chance or whatever that percent chance is to get in the bye. So we still have stuff that we need to lock in and focus on. So, and you don't want to have that mental drought going into the playoffs. So everybody needs to stay locked in. Everybody knows that's where we're at with it. And, coaches' messages, our messages kind of been that way.
Michael Sean?
Hey, Bobby, the heat was on Ken midway through the season when you guys weren't playing well. Do you think we should be eating some crow at the moment now that you guys have turned it around as it pertains to Ken?
I don't know if y'all should be eating some crow, but I definitely think that there's some praise. I think oftentimes when something's not going right, everybody is quick to have a negative opinion. But then when it's fixed or when it does something, when it changes, that positive side of it doesn't necessarily get, as pushed out there or as amplified as the negative side. So I would say, for everybody who was talking trash or having their negative opinion about Nort, I would like to hear, the positive just as loud as the negative. You know what I mean? So that's what I would say. For us, we didn't never focus on it. We understood it wasn't just him. We understood it was all of us. We all played a part in, what we were doing in the beginning of the season versus where we are now. And so he deserves a lot of praise. He deserves a lot of he's a big reason for why we're able to change it around. And I would like to hear a little bit more positivity. That would be my answer to that.
Thanks.
Greg?
Bobby, before the season, you talked about the self-discipline it was going to take to get through this. What has been the hardest test of that self-discipline, either for you or you think teammates?
I think the biggest thing is just the questions that you have to ask yourself, when you think about making certain decisions, even when it comes to family. If normally you have family come into town and, on a regular year, that's okay. But this year, maybe it's a family member you haven't seen for a long period of time. It could even be your kids that you haven't seen for a long period of time, and you have to really question, whether it's safe or how they're traveling or things of that nature. And so, that's been, I think, the toughest part is just, really having to kind of distance yourself from people that you generally see, all the time because of the situation. And so, I know a lot of guys have family situations. I know a lot of guys have, wives, kids, things of that nature that, play a part in this thing. So some guys haven't been able to see their family. Some guys have been. And so it's just been a different element for everybody. And I would say the family aspect would be the biggest adjustment that I think everybody had to make.
Have you had to say no to some visitor?
Yeah, definitely had to.
And without getting personal, how was that conversation? I imagine it wasn't very easy.
I mean, they know I'm pretty locked in during the season, and so it wasn't too hard.
Art?
Bobby, last year's final game against the 49ers had plenty of drama, plenty of stakes, and I just wondered, in terms of agonizing losses in your career, where does that one fit in terms of being an inch short of winning the division?
I mean, I never really thought about it. I'm pretty sure we had some losses that, were not so great. I think the ones that stand out are obviously the Super Bowl, the 2012 era when we went to Atlanta. That was it was my first year in the playoffs. I'm a rookie and not knowing what to expect, and so. You just assume you're going to win every single game. So when we lost that game, that one kind of hit me a little hard. So I don't know if that ranks top 5, but, when you lose, it's not a great feeling.
Matt?
Bobby, I feel like every season kind of has its own feel, both from a team standpoint and an individual standpoint. I'm just curious with you, you're back in the Pro Bowl, leading the team in tackles. Was this just another run-of-the-mill year for you, or did something stand out from an individual standpoint for you?
You can never classify this year as a normal year because, like I said, there's a lot of difficulties, whether it was, COVID, trying to figure out a place to work out, trying to stay in shape, coming into the season. I'm pretty sure a lot of people had questions of whether or not we were going to finish the season. And so that, having that thought process. But at the end of the day, like, I'm a professional and I love the game of football, and so I'll find a way. So for me, it was just more so finding a way to lock in more, finding a way to be more disciplined, and getting the job done. Because I feel like there's been worse circumstances in my life, so this is not nothing, in my opinion.
Jackie?
Hey, Bobby. Making the playoffs for you guys is just something that is expected to happen. For someone like Jamal Adams, who's going to the playoffs for the first time in his career, what sort of conversations do you have with him about this?
Now enjoy it. Enjoy it. Like, a lot of us, like myself, KJ, and a few other guys have made the playoffs, and so maybe seeing somebody like Jamal or seeing somebody like Diggs or seeing somebody like those guys like have that genuine passion for making the playoffs kind of reminds you, that this is not the norm. You know what I mean? Like, guys don't always get to the playoffs, and so be grateful and appreciative of these moments. And so that's kind of what I, tell them, like, be grateful for these moments. These are great moments. The playoffs is really fun. The whole world is watching, and it's going to be a really, really fun time. And I kind of just, admire his energy.
And then really quick, looking at the 49ers, we didn't see Jeff Wilson the last time you guys played him. What type of runner is he?
He's someone that likes to finish the runs. That's the biggest thing that pops off the tape. When he's, after he gets his yards, he looks for context. And so, that's something as a linebacker you admire. And, someone who doesn't run out of bounds, someone who's, wants to try to find, not only find the right read, make the right hole, hit the right hole, but, finish off the run with physicality is something that, I look forward to.
Thank you.
Corbin?
Hey, Bobby, you guys are the first team in NFL history to, in the first 9 games of the year, give up 300 or more passing yards per game and then come out and cut that by more than 160 yards. You guys have cut your scoring almost 16 points per game the last 7 games. Have you at any point in your football career ever been on a team that had such a stark difference from one half to the next half of the season?
Well, I would say, given this NFL history, I'd probably say no to that question. I don't know. Like, I think, I think the early part of the season, it was just a lot of things that need to happen that hadn't happened yet. Like whether it was us having time to gel together, having the guys out there playing with one another for a long period of time. And so I think what you're seeing is the product of that, us being able to be on the field, at the same time, getting guys healthy, everybody being able to play and learn from one another. I definitely feel like that's been the biggest thing as far as my career. I think we've had moments earlier in the career, maybe 2013, 14, 15, where we weren't finishing games. We were being put in positions where, the game was on the line. It was up to us to stop the teams, and they would score. And, it would either be the offense had to save us or we would lose the game. And so that was kind of a transition for us. But I haven't had nothing like this happen.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Last question for Bobby. Brady?
Hey, Bobby, you've told us about your routine before and how you usually at the same place at the same time every morning. When did you adopt that? Why? And did anybody give you the idea for that, or how did that come about?
Honestly, I didn't even know that I was doing it until somebody pointed it out to me. They talked to me about routine, they talked to me about discipline and those things, but I never really thought about it until somebody pointed it out to me. Like when I was eating the same thing, it's just because I liked the food. And so I was just eating the food that I knew I liked. And when I was in the same position, I wasn't even paying attention until somebody left a note on the table because they knew I was going to be in that spot at that time. And so I would ask them, why did you leave that note there? What if I didn't show up? And it was well, I know you was going to be there. So in doing that, I was okay, let me pay more attention to some of the things that I do, and then let me try to tweak those things. So it was more me being conscious of what I was doing that I wasn't conscious of, and then it was figuring out what worked. What I did that allowed me to have a good game, I try to mimic that the best way possible, and then that's how everything kind of came to fruition. It's just me trying to repeat feelings, food, moments that allow me to have a decent game.
I got to ask you about the note. What was the story behind that? Who left it?
I can't tell you. That's a little personal, so I'll leave that out.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, everyone.
We good? All right, cool. Happy holidays.